Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for joining us to another edition of the Detour podcast. And it's a special edition because it's that time of year again, Paris-Roubaix. And as always, I'm your host, Dan Jones, joined by four-time national road champion from Australia, Johnny Trevorrow, and the only two Aussies to take the stone home, Matt Hayman and Stuart O'Grady, 2007 and 2016. And geez, start with you, Hayman. You're obviously on the ground, DS at Bike Exchange Jayco, but where's the 6 years gone, mate? That's gone really quick.
Yeah, look, time flies. I think now, I don't even think any of the young riders on my team know that I actually raced Roubaix.
Oh, come on.
No, it's definitely 6 years. It's flying by. But it's always good to be back here. It's special to come to this part of France. So we got here last night after Brabant-Sapel, and you can start to smell the cobbles.
Iffy?
Well, I was going to ask you about Brabant-Sapel while we're talking about it, because it looked like a wet old day in Flanders. So how was it?
Yeah, look, it didn't go according to plan for us. Probably didn't go according to plan for a lot of people there. So it was, a really hard race. The rain wasn't forecast, so the guys kind of left Leuven in still a bit dry, but already on the way to the start we had a bit of rain, and then it was a wet day. And with that circuit there, it was so important to be on the front foot and make sure that you're in the breakaway. And you can see that Ineos from the first lap they had kind of control over the race, but still they needed someone to finish it off. And Michael, he really fought hard to get back into that race, and really solid ride, like to be out of position there and to have to chase so long to get back into the bike race. That was a pretty impressive ride and just, I would really like to see him kind of be more rewarded for how good he's been riding. So many top 10 and, fourth places in this, but, the guy actually deserves just a one-off a bit more outstanding, something to reward him. A podium would have been nice.
Yeah, Stu, the big talking points.
Young bloke? I was going to say that Magnus Sheffield, only 19.
Look, he was just, I've heard I've seen a couple of his results and everything, but to see him in action yesterday, he was just ripping the bike apart there at the climbs. He was dropping both his teammates most times and then just hit him and rode away. Like, phenomenal performance. Then to hear that he's 19 years old, just amazing.
Sorry, Dan, I jumped on top
of
you.
You can't
really do that. Really do that, Dan.
What I love about you is even if you get first, you keep going. You don't stop and back off. You keep going. You keep charging. The angry ant. I was going to say, Stuart, obviously welcome, but one of the big talking points was Remco and his little bit of a shove out on the bike. Do you think that there was much in it, or is it just like what happens in cycling? Like, hey, mate, I'm coming through.
Oh, look, I happened to be there live and on the race yesterday, caught up with Matty and the guys yesterday briefly, and got to watch this whole episode unfold. And I guess before you kind of play the video, just really quickly, Quick Step have been, under the pump. They haven't delivered. It's probably been the worst spring classics campaign in their history. You saw, we're at the team presentation yesterday, and the stony faces of the guys, and I kind of commented, those blokes are under so much pressure to deliver. They had their absolute A team on the start line with Alaphilippe, Evenepoel, and heavily backed up for all their support. You could see they came out on a mission. And, when Remco did that push, it's just unnecessary. It's mate, you're not Eddie Merckx. It showed a lot of disrespect to the Ineos riders. And if I was that Ineos rider, I always would have got up and whacked him straight back, I tell you, because, he's fighting around like he's won 5 Tour de France's, and I'm just not a fan of that. I think there's still respect to be shown. There's tactics out there which Quick Step have employed on many teams over the years, and they're the master of the race tactics and doing what they can to win. So, they're just on the back foot a bit, and I think, when you start riding like that, then people start kind of, bit by bit, they lose a little bit of respect for you here and there. And you see that frustration come out through the race. The fact that, the crash on the finish line, it was just another very ugly episode, which took Alaphilippe out. And then, the cherry on the cake of the stress. I mean, this is just, I'm not really sure what that car was thinking, trying to get past at that line of the race. You know, that's all driver fault error there. You know, the fact that the car before it had only just squeezed through.
Well, the Ineos, that was the
you know,
Ineos car just in front of it.
yeah, but I think the next car was actually, I got told it was a quick step car. It's a bit difficult.
It was a quick step car that hit him. Yeah. He
yeah,
got
right.
fined
So I mean, that makes it even
42,000.
worse because I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, what the hell are you trying to overtake a bunch for on the finish line? You know, it's just unnecessary. And then for Remco to kind of cop that big serve in the final when he at least was trying to salvage a podium, and then Wellens took him into the barriers. I mean, it's just been a tough 2022 for Quick-Step. I saw Patrick Lefebvre yesterday. He did not look happy. You know, and the problem is, you know as well as I do, Matty, that when you start heaving pressure on teams, you know, you've got to deliver, you have to win, we have to do this. All the other teams know that as well, and they feed off that. They'll just sit back and watch you guys fall apart even more. So, hell of a lot of pressure on them this Sunday. And yeah, they're going to have to go and ride out of their skins. But hopefully, you know, I'm a big fan of Alaphilippe and those guys. I love watching him race, but it's also great to see other teams come in, and Ineos, they're certainly dominating.
Yeah, a great ride by Cosnefroy, another second place in Belgium, but well, the other one was in Holland, but he still hasn't won outside of France. But he's looking really good for well, I don't know how he goes in Paris-Roubaix, but he's looking very good for Flesh, I reckon.
Yeah, it's great to see Bling up there. You know, guys rode really well. You know, as Matty was saying earlier, I mean, you just need the penny to drop, and he's been so consistent. The guys have been riding fantastically. They've really been, you know, seeing the boys up there yesterday. There was a really tough conditions, you know, really riding out of their skin. So, you know, I believe that if you're up there and you're up there, as Matty and I both know very well, you only need to win one of these to turn your season and your campaign around. So the fact that they're up there and they're looking strong, you can't ask for any more. So, you know, all you can do is refocus, recharge. The weather's beautiful up here. It's 19 degrees here today, I think, Matty, and 17 on Sunday. So, you know, the weather gods are there, and yeah, the boys are looking really good. So, fingers crossed.
Now, Matty, apart from always keep riding, what are the key messages to the boys for the weekend?
Oh, for the weekend, well, today we're going to go out and hopefully do two things for the young riders. You want to take away the nerves of what it is to ride Roubaix. We've got a couple of guys that haven't done it at this level. They've ridden on the cobbles. So we're going to go into a recon. But also it can be a bit confronting if you haven't done it before. And when you ride, and Stu will know this, when you do it in a recon, they're a bit slower, they're a bit heavier, they're a bit harder. And it's not until you actually get in that race situation that, you know, you're just going that much faster that you seem to go across the cobbles. So it's a bit of a, you know, we don't want to scare them too much, but you want to have them comfortable in their equipment, want to have them confident that they know where they're going and have a bit of an idea of what the race is going to be, and that we can go away and recover for a couple of days before the race. And then, you know, it's a race that, you know, has opportunities, and both Stuart and I know that it rewards those that are aggressive, that take some risks, and it also is not necessarily the top favourite that wins. It's somebody, you know, and you go back and you look and you know, you mentioned Cosnefroy before. Go back and look at his results. He's been there or thereabouts, flying a little bit under the radar. And I think you find that with the Roubaix winner, that when you go back and look at their results over the previous weeks, months, years, that they're actually quite strong bike riders and been around the mark, but maybe just outside of that, you know, that front group. So it's always exciting. And, you know, it's exciting as a bike rider, especially from, you know, maybe not the big winners, your Alaphilippes or your Fabians or your Tom Boonens, to know that there is a chance, you know, if everything goes right, you know, that's why these guys keep training for this race.
Something special. So Saturday we have the second edition of the women's Paris-Roubaix. Now last year's it got a lot of publicity. It was a fantastic race, but it probably got more publicity than the men's race. Actually, probably being the first, I guess. And it was a pretty tough day for them in the office. But they've made that course actually tougher again for the second one. So do you know how the girls are, the Bike Exchange girls are in their preparation? Because a good ride from Alex Manley yesterday in Brabant's appeal, because she was 10th, I think. So she's been really stepping up.
Yeah, they've done a lot of their recon already. So I know that they're back in Belgium and they'll come down to France, I think, today or tomorrow morning. And look, the last year's event was amazing. I mean, I think we all enjoyed that. I think it was a long time coming to have the women's event on the calendar. And it showed why that the sport is just going forwards in leaps and bounds, because it was a riveting race to watch. I don't think there was anyone on the men's team who didn't miss that race last year, and as they were preparing for the men's race. So the girls have been around the mark in Belgium, and I'm expecting a good showing, and I think they're all super excited to race on Saturday.
I do have a little bit of inside intel because we had a photographer join our Mumu group, cycling group last week, and it was Anton Voss, the brother of Marianne Voss. So the Voss family, a very famous photographer family. Carl was around for many, many years, probably filmed all of our careers. But and Anton, I kind of mentioned, how's Marianne looking? Because I think if anybody in women's cycling not deserves a rock, but I think she probably does actually. She's won everything else out there possible. It'd be great to see her. And he said, no, she's really, really focused, really motivated. She's been training hard, and especially after, Lizzie kind of rode away in the first sector last year, and she tried pretty well to get across, but she didn't quite get there. I know from her own family that she's extremely motivated and really wants that rock on her mantelpiece this Sunday or this weekend.
Now, we were obviously pumping up for a while, Stewie, for people to get over and experience Paris-Roubaix live with Mumu and the crew. How's it been with the crew so far, and what have they got installed? What are some of the special guests you got lined up?
Yeah, we've had a fantastic week. It's gone pretty well. We kicked off with the Amstel Gold Grand Fondo, which I think on the start line was -1, and we had a nice hail shower, which just fit the occasion, really. I hadn't done anything more than about 2.5 hours riding for a couple of years, so to be out there for 6 hours in the freezing cold reminded me just why I'd retired, actually. But no, we actually had a lot of fun. It's just it's a good hard day, and it's for the guests over here which haven't seen. They've seen it on the screen before, but you haven't ridden up, La Rochelle or the Cowberg. To be there live and do that's pretty amazing. And then Andy Schleck joined us and Karsten Kroon for our Flesh Wallone recon, where we did the Mur de Huy a couple of times at a lot slower pace. And then Andy actually hung around and had a nice dinner with us. And then we actually did the final 80 kilometres of Liège-Bastogne-Liège. So with Andy kind of talking us through his blow-by-blow account of where he attacked and how he won. And then today, so we obviously went to watch the Brabant's Appeal race, and Maddie was nice enough to come over, and Durbo and Phil Gilbert came and had a photo with the guests. It's obviously his final swan song, so he was actually, seems pretty emotional. You can see that it's his last chapter of his career. And today, we were heading out to the cobbles to do our own little kind of, not recon, that's for sure, but I guess it's more of a welcoming for the guys that have spent their lives watching it on TV and never actually ridden over a section. So we're going to bounce our way across the cobbles. I'll give them a few hot tips. Hopefully they keep it upright. And then Saturday we've got the Paris-Roubaix Fondo, and then we'll watch the pros do it live from the forest, and then be at the Velodrome, the Roubaix Velodrome, with a glass of champagne to watch it all finish.
You were talking about sorry, John.
Go, mate. Sorry.
You were talking about Andy Schleck before. Obviously, one of the highlights on this show is when we had him on with Cadell talking about the 2011 tour. I can only imagine how he goes with those Aussie cycle tourists. They go, geez, mate, 2011 tour, bloody good ride, but bad luck. Geez, Cadell, just that little bit better, eh?
Yeah.
You take it in his stride, yeah?
Yeah, it is pretty funny. Some of the comments and also, you know, some of they don't really get our sarcasm, I've got to say, but Andy played very well. And yeah, the guests are normally pretty timid, to be honest, but they certainly don't stop talking. The only time we stop talking is when we go up a climb. But yeah, it's been fantastic. And it'll be great to be out there this weekend watching the guys, and you know, for us also, and for me personally, it's been you know, a couple of years disconnected from the world of cycling, so it's great to be over here and you know, with Mumu and getting dusty and dirty on the climb, but also from a Tour Down Under point of view to, you know, be meeting and greeting the teams and the managers and the riders and getting them all excited to come down again for next January.
That's an interesting one, Stewie, because you know, that's your other role, of course, and as race director of Tour Down Under. What's the feedback been like? Are people keen to get back to Oz?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, genuinely excited. A couple of guys actually, you know, you could see them getting quite emotional. It's been a big part of their build up for the past 20 years. They've been, you know, they've locked it in their calendar that they're flying down to South Australia, and they know what they're going to get, and that's the beauty of Adelaide and the TDU is that, you know, they get the set up base in the same hotel. The mechanics have got a really good setup in the village. The riders can, you know, choose your own adventure, and most of the guys out there, it's with the weather conditions, yeah, they're going to go and do a fantastic, you know, foundation of training and get themselves in prime condition for the classics. So, you know, all that training and consistency that they get in Adelaide, as well as the racing, sets you up for a pretty good year normally.
Make sure you mention to them that you know, they can come a fraction earlier and ride the Bay crits. And you know,
they've all been asking that, Johnny. They've all been asking when they're on.
Great little warm up. We stay in the same hotel, the beautiful Novotel in Geelong for 3 days. So yeah. Just make sure you let them know.
No, very, very excited to be having them back, and just to be, you know, just to be really focusing on delivering. You know, I've had a couple of years now to kind of design and tweak and prepare this TDU. So I'm really looking forward to presenting what I have in store for the boys.
It'll be your first TDU, Stewie.
Yeah.
Official one.
3 years later.
Well, Al, the wonderful. I take my hat off to what you've done with the Santos Festival of Cycling, but now this will be your first TDU. So you've had a good warm up, that's for sure.
No, everyone back in you know, in the events team, the TDU team, they're all absolutely pumped. You know, we really can't wait to get that international flavour back to Adelaide. We've missed them just as much as they've missed coming down to Adelaide. So looking forward to it. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Now, before we let you boys go, we've got a couple of live comments. Obviously, Wendy Superfan, she's trying to get a plug in. Don't forget the 2022 Euroa Town Crits, Saturday, 23rd of April, Saturday week. Brendan Marshall says some legends on today's. G'day, lads. Sunday will be incredible. Knowlesy, he says, is this the legend edition? Awesome to see and hear from these legends. And then old Jared, the smart ass, he says, 2 blokes on the podcast that own rocks and 2 blokes that look like they've been hit by them.
Probably agree, actually.
Now, before we let you go, Matty, we can't not milk the cow one more time.
Yeah.
And that is obviously the final of 2016. Have you seen this video before, mate?
No, talk me through it here, Jonesy.
Well, Tom Bonin had won 109 races, and the odds were stacked against the Aussie.
Yeah, right.
As he says, the underdogs get up before. Lorenzo's stressing out. A few F-bombs. What were you thinking, Matty? Take us through. What was going through your head?
Oh, mate. If in doubt, lead out. I mean, someone used to use that around the track back in the day. So I thought if in doubt, lead out. How many guys can get over you? And there's Joachim.
Up the top of the track, so
I like that. I like that up the top of the track, mate. That's awesome. There we go. The big dive bomb down.
That's
a bit of momentum.
How's the tension?
Bit early.
Oh, they just can't believe it. This guy broke his arm 6 weeks before this. He was lucky to get a start. He's leading them
Very
out.
lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah, it's a very different sprint when you've done 270k in a big cement velodrome.
That's it. And the big finale. The reaction's always the best. I love the police guy that wanted him to move. Fantastic. The police guy at the end here on the right-hand side, when he gives him the move on, he still doesn't move. That guy. Then you had Lars come up, but fantastic memories. We had to play it, Matty. We couldn't.
Now, what about have you got Stewie's? You got Stewie's win?
No.
Yeah.
Come on,
I remember.
look at this. I've got a photo. Look at that. That's a great photo with Stewie after he won in 2007 with Fabian. Fantastic scenes. I didn't queue up the video, Johnny. You've caught me out.
It's not good.
That's all good, mate. We've got to take our guests out and do some recon anyway to try and get back around those cobbles and into the showers. So I certainly remember what it was like, and I was lucky enough to be there for Matty with my dad actually watching up in this grandstand. So Paris-Roubaix, what a day! Can't wait for it.
Yeah, and you guys are going to be forever connected until another Aussie comes along, but could be a while. As the only two Aussies to own a rock.
Do we?
Well, Stewie,
right.
I really appreciate you coming on. I know you're under the pump. Matty, don't you go, because I've got a question for you. After your best, Stewie, thanks heaps, bud. And I'll see you in about a week or so when you get back.
No worries, guys. Good luck, Matty. Well,
thanks,
good luck
mate.
to the boys.
I'll probably see you around
thanks
too.
for having us on.
No worries,
I
Stewie.
might see you out in the cobbles somewhere. See you guys.
See
you, bud. All right. Yeah, so Matty, it's the big announcement that Com Games are back in Melbourne. 2026. A regional games be something different, but that must bring back a lot of memories for you, because last time they were in Melbourne, you took out the gold medal in the road race. I remember it really well.
Yeah, Trongo Lamont remembers as well. It's awesome, mate.
2006. That was a pretty special day for me. There's only and actually even the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast 10 years later or more. No, it's special for an athlete to be able to race in Australia. We spent so much time overseas, and when I was able to go back there and win that, and the crowds in Australia, I was talking to a rider a couple of days ago, actually, who was there as well, and said it was the first time they'd raced in front of crowds like that. So guys coming from Europe, or young guys that get an opportunity to come games, and said that the crowds in Australia and Melbourne were some of the biggest they'd ever seen at a bike race. So really special and great to see so much sport going ahead in Australia with the Olympics and Commonwealth Games. I mean, I think we've been through a few cycles as far as sports concerned with our national program, our Olympic programs across all sports. The development of the AIS, and now, and just good to see that, it's still important to Australians, and it's still, almost a national export to have good athletes, and something that we should be, continuing to support for everyone's health and well-being, I think. And I think COVID also highlighted that again, that, exercise and mental health and sport's a big part of that. So great to see some more sport in Australia.
Good stuff, mate. Before we let you go, who's your tip for the big one on Sunday?
Luke Durbridge.
Durbo. Now, wouldn't that be a story? Wouldn't that be a fantastic story?
I don't want to put any pressure on him, because I know I struggled under the pressure but I put on myself, and I'd hate to add any extra pressure to Durbo, but. I just like to see the guy get some kind of reward for what he's put in. And I remember, talking about the sprint there for me, and then one of the reasons I let out is I wanted to just be on the podium. That was, I didn't want two guys to get past me. I wanted to stand on that podium in Roubaix, because the race meant so much to me. And since then, there's a couple other guys on the team, whether it's Luke Durbridge or it was Mitch Docker or other guys, and they feel that same passion that that Stewie and I have for this race, and I just like to see them rewarded if it's not a podium or a win, to be able to come away and say I'm pretty satisfied. I've done something in Roubaix that I can be really proud of.
Couple more live comments before we let you go. Jason Cruz says close to 1 million views on YouTube. Watched it at least 50 times. Obviously talking about the 2016 Roubaix. Drongo Lamont says still so awesome, Matty. Saw you win the Com Games too. Buster Thomas says I've watched 2016 and 2007 more than once. Both awesome races. And Benjamin Foxcroft says Matty Hayman, the man, is a legend in our house. Good luck this weekend with the boys. Let's hope they have some of your grit and determination. So you got plenty of support back here, mate, including myself, and hope you smash it on the weekend and just enjoy yourself, mate. Just enjoy the day.
No, well, that's and you quoting me there because I definitely know that's a big part of it. That we're going to go through the recon, we're going to go through all of the equipment, tire pressure, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, the boys took up cycling because they like to ride their bike, and now they're at the biggest race in the world, and they don't need to get that. They need to go out there and enjoy it, because when you are relaxed and enjoying yourself, that's when the results come. And we see that. If you watch Pogačar race and Roglic and Mathieu van der Poel, you can see that they're enjoying racing the bikes. They're not under that pressure and that stress, so they don't need it from me. There's enough from themselves.
Yep, 100%.
Now you just touched on the tyre pressure. So I saw this article a couple of days ago where one of the teams has been got this automatic thing. So it's somehow it's a little compressor set up in the hub, and you can put your pressure up and down at will. Yep. I thought I checked the date. I thought it must have been April the 1st when I read that. It can't be, but it's actual. Yes.
Yeah. Look, I'm all for innovation, and but I've seen a lot of things come and go at Roubaix, and I remain sceptical until it's kind of proven. And tire pressure is massive. It's a big part of what we talk about at Roubaix. It's a big part of today's recon.
Well, it's not as important as Wi-Fi. He's dropped out. Oh, well,
we got almost through. That's
it's a bit of a scratchy connection anyway, but that's Matt Hayman, folks. He almost got out his final point. So you always ask that last question too many, John. Too many. So Matty's gone.
Can't be perfect like you, Dan, all the time.
That's right. That's right. Now, we're going to have a break, and when we come back, we're not done with Detour yet. We've got a very special guest. His name's Shane Cooper, and he's from Defeat, and he's the man. He's the pioneer when it comes to cycling socks. So we're going to pick his brain after the break. He's staying at the Flandrian Hotel. What do you want to say?
Before you go to the ad, I just thought, because I think the other quick things might as well do it now before we, and then we, as you say, we'll come back and talk with them. I'm looking forward to that. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
But the mountain stage last night in Turkey, so the sprinters were on the back foot. It was a serious climb. It was about I think it was 10, 11 kilometres the final climb with up around 10% at places. So a real climb with Quintana putting the pressure on. But a couple of real surprises. The guy who won alone was Sepulveda. He rides for Gianni's Androni, longest name. And I think it's called Rockhopper now. We've got new sponsors. He's got more sponsors than anyone else in cycling. But he's been renowned in this bike race for going really well. So he's taken over the lead. It was a good solo win. But Paddy Bevan. Oh, Matty, you're back.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Your Wi-Fi dropped out, mate.
Yeah, French internet, mate. I can't do anything about it. It's a struggle of doing the Tour de France for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's continue.
Well, we're just talking about last night in Turkey, the first mountain stage.
Bevan was really strong there, wasn't he?
Paddy Bevan, what a ride!
Yeah.
I mean,
what a ride.
He didn't just hang there. I mean, we know he's a great time trialer. He's a tough nut. I remember talking to Jerry and Shane and that when he was first going over. I said, you should look at this guy, and it just didn't happen. But I believed he could be the real deal. He is the real deal. But I didn't know he could do something like that.
Anyone that puts in a good ride, if he always goes retrospective and goes, mate, 3 years ago, I was telling Jerry and Shane about this guy.
20%. Come to a Pogačar or Pickup.
I told him about the poll.
Did you pick up Sheffield, mate? When he was 12.
Well.
I didn't see him. No. But Paddy Bevan,
you wouldn't have. He just out of junior high school. He's 12 years old.
But it was impressive because not only did he stay there, he didn't just stay there, he closed the gap more than anyone. He put pressure on, he attacked a few times. And it was just a brilliant ride all the way, and then ran second in the stage. That to me...
He's not a pure climber, but he just uses that time trial power and stuff. And we've seen him at Tour Down Under getting around really competently on the climbs as well. So, really
11K climb, mate. They haven't got any 11Ks in Tour Down Under, but that was pretty serious stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to say, and Jay Vine, he keeps keeps producing as well. He was right up there, I think he was 5th or 6th, a top ride. So, and then a couple of days we get back to the flat stuff in the Gallipoli stage. So hopefully Caden can win a second stage. So great to see.
I hope so. The boys and himself have been doing a great job there. That's been a real step forward. And Caden has been absolutely amazing this year. His consistency has been second to none, and it's great to see. There was one thing that was kind of missing. We knew he had speed. We knew he was strong. But it was just that consistency of getting into the final kilometre in position. And this year he's been bang on every single time. And good to see some of those young guys around him helping him, and they're building and breeding a real good culture there. So,
young Kel O'Brien has been very impressive. In the Belgian Classics as well. So
that 7th place in Dwysdorf Flanders was an absolutely amazing ride. I mean, just getting some open road there, and the guys that he was following, the attacks he was going with on the back end of that race. I mean, the only other guy that was in that break that stayed with him from the original was Pollitt, and this guy wins stage of the Tour de France, and here we got our Neo Pro, and he's going toe to toe with the best riders in the world. So that was really good to see. So hopefully he comes back next year with a renewed enthusiasm for the Classics. So good.
Good stuff. All right, Matty. We'll enjoy the recon, mate.
Yeah.
No worries. Thanks for joining us again, mate.
Thanks, Matty. Yeah, look forward to catching up, mate.
All right.
Matty Hayman. We're going to have a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to chat with the sock guru, Shane Cooper. Stay tuned.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike. 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Are you dreaming of the ultimate cycling holiday? Mumu Cycling is the best in the business. Official tour operators for all Grand Tours and monuments, you will ride the best climbs. Enjoy VIP access and race viewing, all hosted by some of the world's best pros, including 17-time Tour de France rider and Paris-Roubaix champion Stuart O'Grady. Start planning your ultimate holiday at www.mumucycling.com.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange and Mumu Cycling. As we said with Stewie before, they're having a great time over at the Classics. And if you want to get involved with particularly the Tour de France, get on to mumucycling.com. If he's going to be there with the crew at the Giro, which leaves in about 3 weeks. Any tickets left for the last week of the Giro, Evie?
I haven't heard back from Marcel. It's probably sold out, but I'll tell you, if you're really keen, just say that if he sent you, and I'm sure they'll fit you in. But definitely some spots left for the Tour de France.
Now, I got an email from Jamie Anderson, who we check in with regularly at the Flandrian Hotel, and he said, listen, we've got a character staying here, and you have to get him on the podcast. His name's Shane Cooper. He's from a sock company that's taken the world by storm, and he can talk all about it. And he joins us now on the Detour. Shane, welcome.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Now, what have you done to impress Jamie Anderson? Because he said you are quite the character.
Well, I have to say that he's impressed me. I came here with my business partner, Paul Willerton, to film on the Flanders region, and we kind of ended up getting bumped from our hotel to Jamie's museum. And Jamie and his team here, Bernard and Anne, have been taking care of us like you would not believe. And this region has been very, very dear to my heart for a long time. I started Defeat in 1992, and by 1997, I had found my way to the Ronde van Vlaanderen, actually with an Australian, Phil Anderson, and his wife, Christy. And so I fell in love with this region back then. And so Jamie has done an outstanding job with this facility, the Flandrian Hotel, and he has treated us like family. And so I haven't done anything. It's Jamie and his team, Bernard and Anne, here at the hotel. It's incredible.
Now, he did send me some links. I should have got the videos ingested, but you're a bit of a rock and roller. You've written some songs about the great Eddie Merckx.
Yeah, I penned a song about Eddie to 10-Speed Cannibal years ago, actually, and I think I posted it online a couple of years ago with some clips from a film, and Jamie somehow got a hold of it, and he loved the song. I think it's even found its way to the cannibal himself. So I think that's him behind me. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, it is. Yeah. I thought you had a Maltini hat on for a minute there, but no, it was Eddie. Shane, lovely to speak with you, mate. So, what do you actually do for a crust? So, what's your passion?
My passion was music before I started Defeat. I traveled the East Coast of the USA playing in a band, playing mainly the college scene. And my family emigrated from England in the sock business. My father sold sock machines. And so when I would go on the road with my music, I also was a huge cycling fan. And so I would carry my bike with me on the road, but I ended up retiring from the music business and going into the sock business, and I started Defeat to help fund my bicycle racing, which was not paying very well.
Yeah.
And what is the key to a good sock? I pinched a couple of your designs, and a lot of it is around sort of custom. You can custom make your own designs. Is that correct?
Yeah, we were the first company to really focus in on the cycling world, and the first sock I created was a team issue sock where I put our company, the shop logo on the sock. And we also created a very, very high quality sock that would last a long time. And back in 1992, 93, my business partner, Paul Willerton, was racing for Subaru Montgomery and Team Gone with Le Mans. And Paul saw how good the sock was. And next thing you know, we were making socks for everybody in the bicycle industry. And we basically are a cycling specific sock company, and we manufacture our product in North Carolina, and we use all of the local supply chain is within an 80-mile radius. And we even use recycled water bottles to make our socks. And those recycled water bottles also come from a local supplier named Reprieve, which is where they actually take the water bottles and chip them into to fiber, which we make socks from. And it's about one plastic bottle per sock. Not many people know that story, but it's a story that we're trying to get out. Yeah.
That's incredible. Divvy?
Amazing. I've got a feeling that back through Christy Hedison, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but that I might have had some dealings with you years ago with the Bay Crits. I think you organised some clothing or something for us as well.
I hope you settled all the bills.
Yeah, I'm sure we did. I remember Christy organised something, and I remember Defeat being a part of that. So, but so long ago, it's all very vague. Yeah.
I believe we worked with the Crocodile Trophy at one point. But I was helping Christy. I drove for her in the Tour de France in 1998. And of course, Phil and I became friends whenever we did a tour with him. And Greg LeMond became our business partner, and Greg and Phil are also close friends. So lots of connections there.
Yep.
And
I
so-
probably saw you in 98 because I was at the 98 tour. So, running around, and I definitely would have bumped into you at some stage. But anyway.
We crashed our Citroen in Dublin and lost the headlights, and we couldn't get headlights fixed for the car, so we couldn't drive at night until we got to France to put new headlights in it.
Now, what is the major difference between a cycling sock and say a normal athletic sock, Shane?
Yeah, when we started in 1992, there was I guess you remember the Tour de Pont in the USA, and they had a fiber called Coolmax. And Coolmax was a space-age material, basically, that would wick moisture, and it was a trilobal filament that would allow the moisture to escape the sock and dry faster. And so typically a sock is made, when you walk up and feel it in the shop, you feel the outside of the sock, and socks were made of cotton, and you would feel the sock and you say, oh, that feels great. But what we were able to do is make the sock inside out and put the Coolmax on the inside of the sock, which put the nylon to the outside of the sock, and then your foot sweats into the Coolmax, and then it dissipates into our aerated mesh weave and allows it to escape. So it's about foot comfort. And, the power transfer from a bicycle rider is straight through the sock into the shoe, into the pedal. And so it's a very important area of comfort. And so allowing the vapor to escape and keep the sock dry, keeping the sock durable, and then putting sponsors' logos on the socks and using Lycra. That's kind of how we kind of tied this whole thing together. And we didn't stop there. We constantly innovate, and we're constantly looking for new ways to improve the sock. And just recently, we created a sock that's 4 watts, saves 4 watts in a wind tunnel. And Team Lotto are using that sock. It's called the Disruptor. But we created that sock in our last year of relationship with Quickstep, which was a 25-year relationship. And Alaphilippe was the first one to wear that sock to victory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before we
So,
wrap things up,
Shane,
we've
are
got
you a
comment.
short sock or a long sock man? I mean, old school like me, we like the short socks.
Yeah.
You a long sock man?
Yeah, well, I think a 6-inch sock is probably about long enough, and probably about a 3-inch sock is short enough. So between 3 and 6, and I got to say, I'm probably a 6-inch guy myself.
Right. Okay.
We've got a comment.
I'm
Gilbert
a two-inch guy myself. But
Gilbert
anyway.
Gutowski says, how do we get our hands on some of these awesome socks here in Australia? If you need an Aussie distributor, I know a guy. I think you might have some inside mail there. Do they just go to defeat.com?
We can sort them out at defeat.com, but we also have distribution into Australia. We have 37 distributors globally, and you can find that list for anybody in the world on our website at defeat.com.
Yep. And I see you doing some stuff for Ukraine as well. You got the hashtag Love for Ukraine. You got a special line there, and all profits go to a good cause.
Yeah, that was an incredible. We came together with a local family that had adopted a Ukrainian son about 5 years ago, and the orphanage where they had adopted their son were in bomb shelters, and of course, we wanted to do something, even a small effort. And the last time I checked, we have a check for $20,000 ready to send
fantastic.
as soon as we can send, but it's
wonderful.
growing every day. So
Good
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you all the
Least
best,
we can
mate. And thanks for joining us on the detour. And as you said, if anyone wants to go check out your fine product, defeet.com, defeat, and get amongst it. And enjoy the rest of your time at the Flandrian. And say good day to Jamie and Bernard and all the crew down there. As you said, they treat you like family, mate. So no doubt you're having a great time.
Okay, thank you guys. Rock on.
Good
you,
on you, Shane.
See you, mate.
Take it easy,
Bye.
mate. Well, it's been a big show, Iffy, and big thanks to Matty, Stewie, and of course Shane, who we just spoke to. Anything you want to add before we wrap things up? Who's your
No,
prediction?
it's an exciting time. Paris-Roubaix, I just love it. It's a bit weird with it, the way that it's going with Amstel and swapping places, and so normally Brent's Appeal they'd be going to Flesh Alone, but that's all next week. But yeah, look, it's a great time of the year, the Classics time. But only 2.5 weeks, and I'll be off to the Giro, so I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, onward and upward.
That's it. Well, I'll give you 2 tips. I'll give you Luke Durbridge for the men's. That would just be incredible. And let's go with Sarah Roy for the women's. Why not?
Yeah, I think Marianne Voss will win the women's. So she's really, I know how set she is for it. And of course, defending champ's not there. She's having a little one, which is wonderful.
Yep.
But for the guys, it's going to be a good bike race.
Vanderpool?
No, I'm going to go with Alaphilippe. I think they're desperate, and he would be really disappointed being taken out yesterday by his own team car. It cost a big fine, 2,000 Swiss francs, I think it was. But yeah, they're just sometimes it's so restricted there. You're coming through they come through the finish line at the Bell Lap. Seriously. It's so restricted. You're only going to wait another 500 or 600 metres and the barricades are gone, and then you can get through.
That's what we say in Australia is a brain fart. So,
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps a big show. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back again next week. Remember to tell your mates, youtube.com/the Detour podcast. And we'll be back soon. And good luck to everyone over the weekend. Go Durbo. John.
Yeah, and just make sure anyone who's in Victoria, it's on Saturday week is the big weekend of the Euroa Criterium. Wendy, super fan. Don't forget Saturday, 23rd of April. And Wendy, I haven't forgot we haven't paid our $200 donation yet, so I'll get that in the checks in the mail.
That's as good as money, sir. That's an IOU. We'll get that sorted for sure.
Will do.
All right. Take it easy, guys. See you soon. Bye.
This is the winning ride